Morning, everybody. There was a fellow Target individual that I noticed that was having trouble dealing with this, as well as some other people when I looked this up. This was dealing with the mobile radio power. As you can see, mine is off. If you were wondering actually how to turn this thing off, all you do, because if you just click it, it's gonna switch back on. What you do is you just hold it down as you have it off, leave it there for just a couple seconds. Don't remove your finger. And then if it stays off, then you're in luck because you just turned it off. Now, the reason why I'm showing this is because of what she mentioned. Now, here's the thing. I don't know if I'm chipped or not. Okay? I don't know. What I do know is that after the last 2 hours of me detoxing, laying down, just resting up, sleeping too, by the way. No induced attacks. None. At least not much. There were a few jolts here and there, but I had my suspicions about this for quite some time. They use the network of your phone to calibrate their attacks. So it's not, I wouldn't recommend anybody to sleep with their device. I really don't. Um, you really need to get yourself a hold of some shungite too, actually, because of this stuff. Uh, and other than that, this stuff is overwhelming because it's constant. It's constant attacks. It's constant V2K. It's constant this. It's constant that. And they don't ever seem to want to let up with this stuff. This program has gotten very, very out of hand. Very out of hand. And the methods of what they do and everything that with this stuff consists of is very, very fucked up because this is this is harming everybody. And the one thing that's the saddest part about this is that we want to inform people about this, wake people the hell up about this, but at the same time, chances are those people are going to get targeted as a result because of the information they found out. But do not fret. This is why you see this is what they've been doing. They've been using guerrilla tactics to basically tear down people as they're on their own, because they don't want to have an army of people rising up against them. They don't want that. No, they don't want any of that. They don't. The reason for this being is because these individuals who do this, they rely on being able to lie, being able to pay off people within the area to just side with them with their bullshit, whatever crap that they're going with. When it gets to the point to where they want to call someone mentally ill, or they just don't want to say someone doesn't know what they're talking about because they're gaslighting them, they can't have a whole bunch of people as witnesses to what they were actually doing because it won't work. And then they'll get called out for what they're doing, and then they won't be able to do it again because people called them out on it. People called them out for you know, psyop and people like that. And it's messed up because this is the stuff dealing with our medical industry. This is the stuff dealing within our police departments. This is the stuff dealing within the government. Now, for me, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you guys, I do not follow politics. I don't. I really just don't. I haven't watched the news I haven't really been watching the news like that because the same thing. The thing is, I know. It's like the old saying goes, just like Denzel Washington said, if you don't watch the news, then you're uninformed. But if you watch it, then you're misinformed because they're not going to tell you the entire truth. They will never do that. They will never do that. Who knows? There probably are some sources where you can get at least some good information, but at the same time, it could very well be no different than your Alex Jones. People who are just giving you a large percentage of the truth, but not the complete one. They're gatekeepers. They're not going, even though they talk truths, they are still hired controlled opposition. And you got to be careful about that because they could literally turn like a flip of a coin at any second if it was ever demanded. Now, who else is like this? I don't know. I really don't know. This is why we got to be cautious about this. The situation with Jeff Sensor, I really think that guy may have been that was foul play that happened to him. But the thing is that a lot of people were talking about like there's been, a lot of people have been speculating saying there was no body around, a lot of suspicious activity was going on. I get the feeling it's possible they were probably honing in on his location, probably, or maybe they already knew where he was at, what he was doing, and they were planning on targeting him. But he ditched. He got out of Dodge at the last second. But who knows? I don't know. I really don't know the significance of that. It's a possible. I'm not gonna say he was a gatekeeper himself because I don't know that. I don't know that. The thing is that this is a problem dealing with like this is a situation to where this program that does this program organization, whatever you want to call it, it's so out of control that it has ruined dude. This stuff has ruined families. It's broken up families apart, man. It's torn them apart, all because of greed. Because of other individuals' greed, because they want to just be so desperate to torture and destroy someone else, a single individual's life, just for profit. They want to torture someone for profit. They want to get off on all of these petty little things. And the thing is that like it's starting to become quite obvious that some of these individuals are just naturally addicted to just harming people like that. They get off from hurting people. They do. They get off from seeing people in pain. They're getting off from seeing people suffer. These sociopaths, narcissists, or you know, whatever you want to call them. There's no way this is going to be allowed to continue to go on for too long. Because in the end, they're depending on several different things. The patternization is no different. Yeah, they have a lot of people on the payroll. Yeah, they got a lot of people involved, but they depend on simple certain things. The fact of their misinformation being posed as truthful information, people being gullible enough to believe their bullshit and not question the facts, the actual false facts that they are promoting. And if not that, then there's other things too. Now, when you turn mobile radio power off, this will turn the network off too. Okay? What I believe this is doing, I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that like even if you were to put your phone in airplane mode, this setting would still be on, right? Even if your service was off, this setting would still be on. Now, you may be wondering, well, why is that? It's simple. It's because just because your network is just because your phone's in airplane mode doesn't mean that it's not still connected to the tower. Radio frequencies, man. I had to download an app just to be able to get to this setting here, just to be able to do this. So, I can't say this setting will work, this method will work for everybody because everybody has different devices. Don't even bother asking me about iPhone because I do not use iPhone, okay? I don't. In fact, I wouldn't even recommend a TI to even use any of their products since perps use Apple AirPlay to basically traffic the, traffic a lot of the crap that they're doing to you. Whether it's the induced attacks or whether it's the gaslighting, and then it's just recording your reaction to it. I don't feed into their into the gaslighting anymore because like that's just a distraction. It is. It's just it doesn't matter. Any of the crap that they do isn't meant for you to tune into it. It does. Now, this is no way in shape or form in me telling anyone not to record anything, not to, jot your evidence down. If you want to continue doing what you want to do. I'm just telling you exactly what I think of what it is. I believe these tactics that they do is meant for you to tune in for the hypnosis that they do. That's what it is. It's meant to put you in a form of stress. It's meant to put you in a form of being, of uneasiness. It's meant to ruin your peace, basically. Now, another thing I've actually found out, and I believe a lot of people probably have had figured this out too for themselves. Whenever I'm still like listening to frequencies and I'm trying to heal, rather it's, for cleaning the blood, or it's for just, killing off the fungi, the biofilm for Morgellons, or even if it's just for raising my spiritual vibration, they are still playing some type of V2K nonsense going through this system. I don't know what it is. But then again, I realized that like a lot of this is also dealing with tinnitus. So I thought about it, and I actually found a very powerful frequency that gets rid of tinnitus. It gets rid of it, yeah. Now, this isn't permanent because, of course, it's going to come back after a while. You got to really look up methods on how to fight this stuff. You really do. I highly recommend everybody to do that if you have the time to do so. But this frequency should definitely help you out. Now, again, I don't know if this is going to help people. Now, as far as people who are chipped, I don't know the full significance of that. I haven't had time to really do too much of dealing with those. I do know that there is technology that I can, recreate and whatnot. There is that. There is, I can always reverse engineer stuff. That is that's a thing I can do. As far as everything's concerned. Now, as far as the chips themselves, here's the scary part about this. Nanoparticles have the ability to self-assimilate and then disassimilate, meaning, it has the ability, for some people who don't know what that is, they can construct themselves as they're being sprayed out, or, whenever they're in the body, hitting the ground, whatever. They can construct themselves and then deconstruct themselves, okay? So because of this, whenever you're treating any part of the body, and this is what I kept coming to the same conclusion about, because they would always move. However, despite this fact, I was making progress because there were times where I was, the attacks of what I was doing to it was so intense that they were ejecting themselves out of my feet. It was a very weird experience too. Very weird. There's some other stuff I'm going to tell you about as well. I had also, not only just that, I had also did the diet change, trying to do the fasting thing when you eat nothing but vegetables or whatever, right? And I don't know what it is, but between both the muscle tissue and the skin, there's a layer of something. I don't know whether there's a layer of fungus or something underneath, right in between, but it felt like that entire area was just getting cleared up for some reason. I don't know what the hell it was, but as this was happening, I could feel the little bastards moving around. And let me tell you, it was bizarre. This crap was going up and down my chest, up and down my back, my legs, my arms, and it was just, wow, dude. Like, these bastards were traveling. Now, prior to the other thing, unfortunately, as you all know, I did have, because of me, because of my travels, I did have to abandon the anti-nano barrel. Man. But despite the fact that I had to abandon that, it's not like I can't build another one. There's that too. But this time, I want to build some things that are going to be way more potent and way stronger. Way stronger. Now, in accordance to a lot of this stuff, I want to also start doing research into Dr. Roy Rife's research. These documents of all the stuff that he was doing, so I can actually start making some Rife frequencies of my own for this channel. Now, I don't want to just do that though. I also wanted to look more into the the biomagnetic healing as well. I wanted to look into that too. And I gotta admit, ever since I did turn this off, I've actually felt a whole lot better. A whole lot better. But they can still view things through infrared. If you're wondering about that, I would recommend you to get a CVS driver for something like that. But again, then there's the cameras. Look, fellow TIs, if we all get together and we all have a place of our own, we have to be able to look out for one another. These perpetrators rely on your blind spot so much, they do. If you have someone watching your back, they can't do the crap that they would normally do. Why? Because first off, it would show their hand on what they initially done. It could have been something, whatever it is, whether it's electronic or whether it's physical, that would show their hand because they would have to reveal what they've been doing in front of the TI who's currently watching the other TI's back, and they don't want to do that. No, they want you to not see what they're doing, and because they want to gaslight you so much. They want to gaslight you. They want to do all of this, many different things, and it's just anything to bother you, anything to mess with you. They're interested in every little detail of what you're talking about. They're interested in everything of what makes you tick, what bothers you, what pisses you off, what makes you happy, and they want to use these things against you. They do. They want to use all these different things against you. I tried making this video several different times, but every single time, and I believe a lot of people go through this too. This is why they have to do editing. They try to mess with you whenever you try to make a video. They do. Whenever you try to talk or whenever you try to, get out some good information, some really good information, they will fuck with you with these induced attacks. Whether it's memory manipulation, and yes, because of how small these things are and because of what they're capable of, that can happen. Injection of false thoughts, that too. Problem is, and this is what I really want everybody to understand, these injections of false thoughts due to this technology, some people can confuse these thoughts for their own. Because of this, and because of the hypnosis that's induced onto them through the sleep deprivation, through the gaslighting and all that stuff, it could put a person in a very bad spot. I myself almost fell victim to this, but I fought it. And that was when I was first, when this stuff first started revealing itself to me. I couldn't figure out what the heck it was. I didn't even know what it was or what I did or what was going on. All I know is that like a lot of weird stuff was going on and people just did a complete 360 on their behavior. It's just changed. They were so attentive to my reactions and I couldn't figure out what it was. It was constant stare and I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I couldn't figure it out. For the love of God in me, I couldn't figure it out. I'm like, what the heck is going on? Until one of them was dumb enough to say it out loud, saying, "Oh, I'm going to keep doing that from now on." I'm like, are these motherfuckers actually trying to piss me off? And then it started to make sense. Of course they are, because they were paid to do it. They were paid to do it. They were paid to act like this. They were paid to set these things up. They were paid to fix things up. And so you would be induced with attacks to possibly where you would even do something that you would later on possibly regret. It's possibly and allegedly, but not a guarantee that this is exactly happening. But this is something that they'll do to a person who gets so induced with this stuff. Due to a lot of the other TI testimonies from what I've seen. They will try to induce you to do something to where like it will prevent you from going to seek out legal help, from even talking about this. Now, I've seen so much stuff, man, out there. A TI being put on the terrorist watch list, a TI being blacklisted, a TI being put in so many positions to where it's just so unfair for them. Now, it's even being forced to being homeless because everybody and their mothers, their fathers, their grandmothers, their grandfathers, the kids too, brothers and sisters, all of them are even in your own could be doing this. Just turning perp and then just allowing themselves to just be consumed by the program doing this to you. And then due to the hypnosis causing and I'm telling you, like, that murder is no way, shape, or form left out in this factor, because there have been people who have been induced to methods of hypnosis to do just that. That's how bad this is. People have been put under hypnosis so much for so long of a period of time. This could even go as far back as when they were kids. Now, some fellow TIs also mentioned that when a person get near age 30, that this hypnosis starts to break off. It starts to lose its bearings. Now, I don't know, but I do know that for myself, I'm 30 now, but I was getting ready to approach age 30, and that's around the time where my targeting actually went over. It started to become, or should I say become more apparent and more obvious. And then I didn't even know what it was until like it made itself aware to be seen. But the thing is that this stuff is so complex. It's meant for you to notice it, but not anybody else. And you may be wondering, some of you may be wondering, why can't nobody else notice it? It's because what you need to do is have something to, like I said, if you find yourself going through this, don't go looking for the perps. Don't. Just try to act as usual as possible, what you usually do. What I mean by this is, if you're going to go to the grocery store, just go to the grocery store. If you're going to go shopping, then just go shopping. If you're going to go to work, then just go to work. But have a recorder recording everything that's being put in your line of view. Because if you're not looking for them, they have to intentionally go within your view space just to put the color harassment in front of you, just to do whatever it is that they're doing. It doesn't even have to be that. It could be anything that they're doing. And you want to catch as many of these things that are happening several different times out of the day. But you want to catch the entire footage. Why? Because the entire spam of the footage is going to show that you've been doing nothing but minding your own damn business whenever you went out. You don't seek to give anybody trouble. You don't seek to hurt anybody, but it seems like everybody has some reason to F with you for some reason. And then when you try to seek help or have a decent conversation about it, turns out the person is either so dense that they don't even want to question the very, reality of many different things. They just want to just give a simple answer and just label you off as something as if you don't even know what you're even talking about. And that ain't fair. The fact that people aren't questioning stuff right now is a big problem. Now, that also makes you have to question, are they not trying to question it out of fear? Or do they have some motivation to not be questioning it at all? Or are they part of the problem from the start? That I do not know. But inevitably, I believe stuff like this will be found out, sure enough. Now, they've actually, let me tell you guys something about this. They actually ran a huge operation so far. I'm not going to give any of this crap recognition, though. But some things that happen that you need to understand are happening by its own design. Stuff that they can have control over. That is understandable, but you got to understand, we're living beings, man. There are going to be situations that happen that they didn't have nothing to do with. Like if you have an itch, right? Naturally, if we get bit by a mosquito, we're going to itch. Sometimes we just itch, and it doesn't even have to be from them. No, it's just a natural state of things. They could induce one, I suppose. And it isn't just that. I mean, before this, before any of this program stuff happened, we've had different situations that what we would have. We would, be depressed. We would be happy. Would be angry. We would have all these different emotions. We would feel all these different things. The thing is, though, is that you need to be able to, start focusing on being able to tell the real from the fake, the genuine from the counterfeit. And it's not easy, but once you start practicing it, eventually you will get good at being able to turn between the two. Remember, when it comes to an incident to where you don't even know exactly how it happened, don't just jot off onto the situation just blaming them, because chances are, they're looking to just use, if it wasn't them, they're gonna just try to use that to their advantage. If you're just trying to blame somebody for something, they're gonna try to use that to their advantage. And some TIs may be wondering, and if even people of non-TIs are probably wondering about relationships. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna give you the whole hard truth about this. If you go on a dating site, 9 times out of 10, the person you're going to end up with is a perp, okay? Not to mention there's scammers on there too. So I don't even recommend anybody to use any type of dating apps. Besides, you don't really get that genuine connection from a device like that anyway. It's best to meet someone directly within your area. But again, you're being gang stalked or gaslighted. Chances are the person could be controlled opposition. You don't even know what this person may have, or you don't even know what this person's intentions are. You don't know. It doesn't matter whether you're a woman or a guy. In the end, you don't know what this person's intentions are at all. And lately, different things have, that have happened has proven that, especially with how corrupt the family court system is too, that guys can go to, jail just as easily as a female could. If anything, not easier. Now, this isn't about, who can go to there easier than who. No, it's the fact that it's being misused as a way to profit off of people suffering, basically. That's the problem. So, and if it isn't that, it's going to be something else too. They look to use many different methods against you. They look to use many different things to do stuff. But again, the enemy is the one who is controlling this technology. No matter how you're looking at it, you could look at somebody who has done something and get super pissed. But I'm telling you, what good does it do to either take that person out or incarcerate that person, when in reality, it was the people who were controlling them due to induced hypnosis? You want to know what's going to happen? Sure, you took that victim out, but they're going to do it to somebody else and turn that somebody else into the exact same thing. Thus, for basically continuing the cycle, a never-ending cycle of this bullshit. That's the problem that people don't get. Unless you get rid of that technology and those people who are doing this, the real people responsible for this, the ones who are paying people to keep hush about this whole program, the ones who are basically paying these controlled out these people out, this neighborhood watch people off, the one who's walking up behind your back, lying, slandering you, character assassinating you, calling you everything out of the book, out of that has ever been known. That's all wrong in its incarnation itself. Unless you get rid of the people who are hiring those individuals, we're not going to get anywhere. We're not going to find any peace. No, because they're just going to continue to get more and more power, more and more funding, and this is going to basically cause more and more people to be targeted. Whenever I see someone acting out, I look at that behavior coming from the person who's inducing those attacks onto that individual. And within that method is where I see the enemy. I don't see the enemy as that person who's acting out. I see the enemy who's the one who's hiding behind in the shadows. And it's the enemy's behavior on those induced attacks onto that person, or it was just taking advantage of that person, taking advantage of the weak-minded, taking it. And I'm telling you, some of these people really are weak-minded. They really are. They may try to act as smart, but I don't care how smart they try to act. It's not, no, just no. I've dealt with some characters that really didn't know what they were getting themselves into, and I've dealt with some people who who are just way too ahead of themselves. And then I've witnessed people who are just playing out being taken advantage of, who are being manipulated, who are being used, all to just wear these colors to harass me, all to just do these various different things in order to induce this stuff. And I felt bad for those people. Now, there are individuals who are being brought up like this from the get-go, who are being brought up, breaded to basically, and groomed to be these provocateurs from the start. That's a major threat. That's a major problem right there. A big one, because now we're dealing with a generation that's being groomed to do this shit. Who think it's okay? Who thinks it's okay to be a narcissist, a sociopath, to do this to people, to just call it to profit off of their suffering? They are a major fucking problem. They are. And if it ain't that, then it's the people who are hiding behind the scenes. They are cowards, man. They don't want you having they don't want you having their faces. No, they don't. They will run away the minute you go after them. They will send somebody around to deter you from going after them. And I know, because this has happened. They don't want to be they don't want to be identified, because they've done this shit to other people. And they're still doing it to other people. Not just me, not just you, many others. The more people choose not, to ignore this, it's not going to go away. This is not a problem that's just going to solve itself. No. This requires myself, you, everyone else who wants this stuff to end, to basically give it the boot and kick its ass where it needs to be kicked. As far as the religion sense, I call it out for what it is. There's a lot of manipulation of the enemy's influence in there. There is. I do have faith, and I do believe that there is a God out there. I do. But I'm very careful of what that Bible says, because that's a physical thing from this world that has been basically, made by man. No matter how you look at it, that is a man-made object. And I'm just calling it out for what it is. Does it come from a factory? Are there robots making this thing? Or machines? Weren't those machines built by man? Okay, then. Again, I'm not trying to attack anybody's religion here. I'm just calling it out for what it is. I believe there is a connection to the Creator, and that the enemy seeks to sever that connection as much as possible. But no matter how much they try, they will inevitably fail. Anyway, that's going to be all that I have for this video. Again, the links that I'm going to have for you all is one of them is going to be a link towards the, what is that? I wouldn't even say just, normally I would leave you, I could just leave a link for the app that I'm using. But be careful out there, because they will use people to psyop you. Even people off of just about anywhere, they will use them to do this, even if they don't realize it themselves. Remember, the reason why they do the things that they do is to get you to act out, to get you to act, to get you to do something, to get you to participate and do something that will be harmful to yourself. You're not like that. Some of you I may have never even met, but trust me, you are more of a good person than you ever known. All of you are. The enemy is inducing this stuff to cause people to act out. Yeah, there are people out there who are normally like this. Yeah, there are. Who would do vile stuff like this. I hope this channel that I've made will help a lot of people out in the long run as much as I intended it to. I'm fighting just as much as the rest of you. I send both my love and my prayers out to all of you out there. As always, stay strong with positivity. Stay fierce against negativity.
Wanna go around?
What's going on, Kaz?
We've got guests.
Time to move.
Don't worry, it's not our friends from Langley. I brought him. Made sure we won't fall.
Thank you, Big Boss.
Call me Snake.
Sorry, Big Boss.
Listen up. For us, there is no victory.
But in Revolution, doesn't one triumph or die?
We don't do either.
Here.
Thank you. I feel like a new man. There's no coffee like Costa Rican coffee. So, what brings a distinguished scholar from the Costa Rican government to Colombia?
Professor Galvez comes from Costa Rica's University for Peace.
You see, over the past year, there have been sightings of an armed group in Costa Rica. They're not ours, of course.
Costa Rica doesn't have an army.
Correct. Article 12 of our Constitution states that the Army as a permanent institution is abolished.
The Peace Constitution.
You think it's rebels who fled Nicaragua? No, they don't appear to be guerrillas. They're far too organized. What's your government's take? The authorities in San Jose claim it's a multinational security firm, hired by the Development Corporation of Costa Rica. Lies, obviously. They're bringing in state-of-the-art weaponry and equipment by the shipload. Where'd they get that kind of cash? I fear La CIA may be involved.
The CIA.
As you both know, the United States views Central America as its backyard. Even after Cuba, we've managed to maintain a delicate balance with the U.S. And your government can't just give them the boot.
We are not allowed to bear arms.
Japan's constitution has something similar. Article 9. It says Japan renounces war and can maintain an army.
I understand that you and your men have neither state nor ideology. That you will fight any foe. Please, you must drive them out of our defenseless country. We come to you, the Militaires Sans Frontières.
So, you want to hire us?
Yes, as our deterrent. We can't afford to pay much, it's true. But we can offer you this. A forward operating base. An offshore plant in the Caribbean.
Sounds pretty good to me. This place is becoming a mess anyway. Snake, we need someplace we can settle down.
The governments agreed to cooperate. Unofficially, of course.
A chopper for transport would be nice too.
I'll see what I can do. Hold it. You seem to think we're just a pack of dogs of war. Is that right? Yes, that's what I've heard. You're an army without a state. No, we've only left our countries behind. Please, you must help us. If your suspicions are true, force isn't going to do any good. You'll have to find a political solution. The government's hands are tied. back to your bosses in San Jose. Tell them if they want, I'll introduce them to a negotiator I know. No, I'm not here on their behalf. So, what are you doing here? For over 20 years, I've preached the virtues of peace at multiple universities. Tonight, I stand before you as an educator. This is my student. She came to me to study peace. Her name is Paz. Paz Ortega. Paz. Peace.
No kidding. That's my name too. Kazuhira. It's Japanese for peace. Pleased to meet you, Paz. Call me Kaz.
They've got a supply port north of Puerto Limon, a town in la Costa del Mar Caribe. A few days ago, Paz stumbled upon that facility while searching for a lost friend. She was captured. She's only a child, 16 years old. They did terrible things to her, but somehow she managed to escape. Oh, my God. She's huérfana. Her mother died when she was small. She lost her grandparents in the Civil War. She hates war with a passion like no other.
My name is Paz, and I will do anything to protect my namesake. It is my one and only purpose. Please, get them out of my country. Make them leave Costa Rica.
Sorry, kid. We know who you are, Big Boss. That is why we've come to you.